by Manny Piñol. Over the 2-year period that I spent writing about Rody Duterte, the person and the political leader, questions have been raised over my true intention and motive in pushing his presidential candidacy. Let us forget for a moment that Grace Poe-Harris has been disqualified as presidential candidate and lacks the experience to qualify her for the presidency. Let us forget for a moment that Manuel Roxas III, the administration candidate, simply does not have the heart for the poor and is perceived to be incompetent. Let us forget for a moment that Miriam Defensor Santiago is sick and does not have the physical stamina to launch a nationwide campaign. Let us forget for a moment that Rody Duterte is outrageously foul-mouthed and a self-confessed womanizer whose vulgar and sex-laced language would make porn star Maria Ozawa blush and cringe in embarrassment. Second, let us count with our fingers the problems confronting the country today. The proliferation of illegal drugs, criminality, corruption, the almost 5-decade-old communist insurgency, the restless Bangsamoro in the southern Philippines. The lack of development and jobs in the countryside and people's growing distrust with government are the first things that would enter our minds. For people of Metro Manila, there is the monstrous traffic affecting their lives and productivity, and for the nationalists, the encroachment of mighty China into our territory in the West Philippine Sea. Then, third, let us ask ourselves who among Binay, Poe-Laman's heirs, Roxas, Defensor Santiago and Duterte could provide answers and has stated a clear position on how to handle the problems. One does not need a very high IQ to know that among all of them, it is only Duterte who could stop drugs, criminality and corruption. He has the track record. There were several posts accusing of getting paid for my work in the social media and of vying a cabinet position when Duterte becomes president. Only Duterte possesses the patience and the tolerance to sit down with the communist insurgents and the Bangsamoro secessionist groups and possibly come up with a compromise solution to end the conflict that has claimed thousands of Filipino lives. Only Duterte has laid down a doable solution to the lack of development and poverty in the countryside through his federalism advocacy. Only Duterte has inspired millions of Filipinos to volunteer to campaign and pledge support to a candidate who does not have the money and the political machinery. For those who are concerned about the surveys showing Duterte either in a statistical tie for second or last, worry not. Surveys are only indicative of people's mood and perception, which could be influenced by peripheral issues. Duterte was obviously affected by the unfortunate joke about Pope Francis and Metro Manila's traffic, and that explains the slump in his ratings now. Towards the election, when people would have realized that the problems faced by the country are a greater concern than the vulgar language and profanity of a candidate, they would know that their only hope for change and their best choice for president is Rody Duterte. The accusation that I am paid is simply ridiculous. Nobody in the Duterte group gets paid for his efforts. In fact, Duterte's friends who are supporting him, including the lawyers defending him from several disqualification cases, are spending time and their own resources to push his candidacy. But honestly, for some time I really thought of what I could contribute to his governance in case Duterte becomes president. Of late, however, I have made a decision that I have had enough of government service and I would rather stay in the farm even if my friend becomes president. I am, however, committed to support Duterte's presidential run, and I will share with you the reasons why he is our best choice for president. First, let us analyze the potentials and capabilities of the current presidential contenders and come up with a simple process of selecting the best among them. Let us forget for a moment that Vice President Jomar Binay is facing charges of massive corruption and of having enriched himself in office.